Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the Vienna University of Economics and Business and of course the Resourcing Consortium for this invitation. The principles that inspire the project Resourcing are very much in line with the priorities and values of the Chilean Ministry of Mining. For the National Mining Policy 2050 to be considered as an example of an initiative that will lead to responsible and sustainable sourcing is a clear indicator that our hard work is headed in the direction we intended to. Energy and mining are two sectors that are closely related and share multiple challenges and opportunities. Together, they account for nearly 50% of the ongoing investment in Chile and will be key to the recovery of the economy and the jobs which were lost during the current pandemic. Mining is an essential activity for our national economy. Last year, this industry accounted for 12.5% of the national GDP, contributed with 58% of the national export, and generated $3 billion in tax revenue, over 6% of our total fiscal revenue. It has been and continues to be the productive sector that contributes the most to the well-being of Chileans and the development of our country. The projected investment for the decade 2020-2029 considers 49 mining projects valued at $74 billion. But beyond numbers, as we all actively work to leave the suffering and uncertainty of the last year behind us, we must also work to address its socio-economic consequences and to build the greener and more inclusive economy our citizens demand now more than ever. To accomplish that, we believe it is imperative to have a national policy that projects this industry into the future, with the conviction that the route to economic recovery and a more sustainable future will be built on responsible mining. World copper demand could double by 2050, mainly driven by electromobility, increased demand for solar panels, and sustainable construction. Lithium, on the other hand, mainly driven by battery production, will double its demand by 2030. Our main motivation is to be able to supply the minerals the world will demand in the years ahead. We have a unique opportunity to contribute with the minerals that will enable the transition to clean energy. Given the importance mining plays in our economy and its potential contribution for the future, it is essential to draw a shared vision of what mining should be, and to do that through a participatory and inclusive process. The National Mining Policy 2050 aims precisely to build this long-term outlook through a shared vision that is as cross-cutting as possible, establishing strategic objectives, intermediate and final goals, and indicators that will make it possible to verify its progress. The purpose of such a policy is to set a long-term horizon, ambitious but also realistic, with the virtue of arranging and guiding the action of the state and its agencies, transcending presidential terms and giving continuity to directives and guidelines that are considered essential. Given the scope and continuity that we expect for the NMP 2050, we considered it necessary to submit to strategic environmental assessment to ensure that its design adequately considers the three pillars of sustainability: environmental, economic, and social, to enable a more sustainable mining industry. Likewise, it should propose evaluation and adaptation mechanisms that will allow it to adapt to the changes and dynamism of a constantly evolving world. The National Mining Policy 2050 guides the transition towards a sustainable development of the mining sector so that it can be a key contributor to the progress of Chile both today and tomorrow, constantly seeking to be valued as such by citizens and international markets. Its development consists of a timely, well-informed, broad and inclusive dialogue with regional and national scope that includes not only actors representing diverse perspectives directly or indirectly involved with mining, but also actors who might not be traditionally considered stakeholders. We began in August 2019 listening to multiple actors from all over our country. We started with a central phase, working with 150 participants from the public and private sectors, academia and civil society. We got a collective vision towards 2050, its attributes and 36 proposals for sustainable mining. Also, we defined 9 cross-cutting sustainability axes that structured our work during 2020. Institutions and mining development, integral labor relations and gender equity, citizen participation and regional development, productivity and human capital, value chains and innovation, taxes and public investment, green mining, small and medium-scale mining, and indigenous peoples. During 2020, the work was organized in 3 stages. First, the technical commissions, second, the territorial phase, and third, the virtual phase. The technical commissions were composed of 200 experts with 30% of women participation. During more than 5 months, each one of the challenges identified were further explored and developed, establishing goals, visions, and indicators. We worked then on the territorial phase. Between August and October of last year, we reached all regions of the country, summoning more than 1,000 people with 32% female participation from various sectors in virtual collaborative workshops. We held 18 regional workshops, raised 93 initiatives, and the topics which generated the most interest were small and medium mining, green mining, specifically water resources, and regional development and citizen participation. Finally, the virtual phase was a space for all citizens who wanted to participate through a virtual platform that replicated the methodology of the territorial phase. We developed 11 workshops with special sessions for students, women, and workers. The topics that raised the most interest were green mining and institution and mining development. Where are we today? More than 3,000 participants have been involved in different phases. On the Policies website, you will find the document Inputs for the National Mining Policy 2050, with the work carried out in the central phase, together with 21 documents summarizing the territorial phase and the virtual phase. We have done an inclusive, citizen-based work, which incorporates the opinion of men and women from every region of our country. We are currently drafting the final document of the policy and completing the strategic environmental assessment. Where do we go from here? The aim is to have the national mining policy ready in July as a preliminary draft to be revised by the Ministry of the Environment. In parallel, and as an early result of the Indigenous Technical Commission, an Indigenous chapter will be drafted within the framework of a participation process as indicated in Article 7 of ILO Convention number 169. To this end, we're working with advisors of the National Indigenous Corporation, CONADI, in order to reach a consensus for its implementation. What do we propose or want for our sustainable mining? A competitive mining industry which supplies the world with 1/3 of the copper needed to stop global warming, that actively promotes technological change and the export of knowledge, that has qualified, committed, motivated and highly productive workers, and that works with an innovative suppliers industry that contributes to the diversification and sophistication of the national economy. A safe and inclusive mining that promotes continuous improvement in its operations, exceeds labor standards, and maintains collaborative relationships with the surrounding communities, promoting collective actions for territorial development. Being at the forefront of environmental management and achieve carbon neutrality implies a commitment to responsible management in the use of critical resources such as water and energy, ensuring the protection of biodiversity as well as controlling, mitigating and compensating the risks and effects generated in the environment and the communities, and considering also the perceptions and needs of the different stakeholders. Effective governance is based on dialogue and a collaborative relationship between the state as promoter and regulator. Chile has a solid institutional framework that creates a favorable environment and guarantees the attraction of investment and the sustainable development of the industry. Our goal is to bring every relevant stakeholder on board of this vision for a greener and more sustainable mining. Thank you very much.